Before I even talk about Rox and Roger's rivalry, like the video. You're gonna forget. Like the video. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Now, Rox and Roger. These old folks right here, they were rivals. Sengoku even said that, hey, the greatest foe, Roger's greatest foe, Roger's greatest enemy was who? Rox the Zebek. You know, when I think about the rivalry between Rox and Roger, I just think that, like, man, who were these two? You know, I have a thing where it's like, I think they were friends. And you can't disagree because I said so. And two, I feel as if they were friends because honestly, I don't think it's that hard for Rox to have a liking towards someone. Just look at 1155. Rox's first time meeting Harold. Even though Harold had all the intent to attack Rox, he filled up his sword with Advanced Conqueror's Haki and like he just attacked Rox. Rox blocked it and he was like, ha ha. No, he's like, he was like, state your name, man. And then right there and then, he's like, oh my gosh, you're so cool, this and that. We have to meet again someday. I feel as if, like, if you're strong, Rox, honestly, he messes with you. Like, he thinks highly of you. Let's be real. I feel as if when it comes to Roger and Rox, it's about everything. Although we haven't seen much of the things that Roger has done versus Rox. A page and like a whole chapter in 1155. Oda went ham on showing us what Rox has done. But other than that, it just goes to show, like I said before, when it comes to Roger, we haven't actually seen all of the things he's done, but most definitely, Rox is Roger's greatest foe. Not only that, but Roger has some things that's been said about him on how, like, he was, like, honestly the greatest pirate that ever lived. Not only that, just the people who, like, was able to fight him. Rox had strong people fighting against him, but also Roger. Roger had Garp. Roger had Primebeard fighting against him. Roger had people like Kaido, obviously. I feel like Kaido was fighting against him. Big Bomb, Shiki. You had all those people fighting against him. But the strongest, like Roger's greatest foe was Rox the Zebek. Okay. When it comes to these two, I feel as if they were friends. On some, let's say, Hashirama and Madara. I feel as if they were friends. Like, they grew up together. Or, like, they probably, like, bestowed upon each other. Maybe whilst Roger was on his journey and looking for crewmates, I feel as if, like, Rox and Roger encountered each other. They could have possibly encountered each other where they talked for a while. They got to know each other, know each other's dreams and whatnot. And maybe Roger and Rox probably told each other about their dreams. And Roger's like, that's crazy, man. Being king of the world? Really? I mean, I guess if that's what you want to do or something like that. And Rox is like, what do you want to do? And then Roger tells him his dream. But Rox is like, you're insane. That's impossible. You know what dream I'm talking about. The dream he basically told Whitebeard and Odin. Odin was like flabbergasted, like admired Roger's dream, whilst Whitebeard's laughing, and obviously Luffy shares the same dream as Roger, and that's why the crew was like, whoa, Luffy, that's your dream, you know. I feel like that's gonna happen. I feel like that happened. And when it comes to Roger and Rox, yeah, they could have been honestly friends. Or they could have like grew up with each other very young, and they told each other their dreams that young. Who knows? But I feel as if Rox has utmost respect for Roger. I feel like they were the only two that could actually match up with each other. Of course, with Garp and stuff like that too, because Garp used to fight Roger and Sengoku as well. I feel as if like they had utmost respect for each other. When it comes to Rox, you could see his character is all about respecting people who's like really strong. And that's why he had people like Shiki on his crew. He had Whitebeard on his crew. He had Big Mom, Kaido on his crew, because he's like, yeah, I like strong guys, right? And it's all through a Davy back fight. Maybe another way that Rox and Roger could have honestly been friends, or could have honestly have like this great rivalry. What if, quick theory, Rox challenged Roger to a Davy back fight? Rox admired this strong guy named Goldie Roger, and he was like, yo, I want that guy on my crew. If I can get him on my crew, I definitely can like conquer the world. He wanted Roger and his crew, challenged him to a Davy back fight, and he possibly lost. Like, I feel as if like Rox challenged Roger to a Davy back fight and they lost. And that's where like Rox is like, what the heck? Screw this guy, man. Like he really, but at the same time, it could have been possible that Rox had utmost respect for Roger at the same time. Maybe Roger was the only guy he could have never beaten at a Davy back fight. Who knows? You know? And the other thing is too, I feel like they share the same sword style. If we look at chapter 1155, you're gonna notice that Roger and Rox have the same sword style. Rox does this like baseball swing stance in his swordsmanship. And if you look at, I think chapter 967 or 967 or 966, where Roger versus Whitebeard, as he's going to attack, before he attacks Whitebeard, he like enshrouds his sword and advance conquers Haki, the same stance and position that Rox does. Like they have the same like fighting style and everything. You know what I mean? It just goes to show, like, I don't think Roger just did that out of, like, just a coincidence either. Maybe it's just a hint, like, because you know how Oda like to do these little mini hints where it's like, oh, you noticed that. Someone possibly mentions it in the SBS, and it's like, could Rox and Roger share the same sword style? Could they have been friends some shape, way, or form? Who knows? By teasing us, a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you look at that and think about, like, hey, they could have possibly been friends. And even their swordsmanship in a way, right? Rox is known to blow everything away just by swinging his sword. All things nearby just blow away like a cannon or a gigantic hammer. Right? Just sending shockwaves, The way Roger fights too, like when he does Kamusari, he's able to send out shockwaves too. And you saw how far he blew Odin back. He had Odin he sent Odin flying with a with a shockwave slash filled with conquerors. You know what I mean? Like I said, they could have like shared the same like fighting style in the way they admire each other, the way they did things. And I think when it comes to their rivalry too, when it comes to them fighting each other, I believe like it wasn't on some like Roger would win 15 times and Rox would only win like 5 times. Or vice versa. No, I think it was on some Dorian Brogy type of thing. Where it's like either they always tie each other, or either like one wins this fight and one wins the other fight. I feel like when it comes to that, like that's how it went down as well. And I feel like the names they made for themselves is what makes them so great. You gotta understand. Even Sengoku said it. Rox was Roger's greatest foe. The greatest, like the most like craziest person he's ever fought and whatnot. He didn't say that about Newgate. He didn't say that about Shiki. He didn't say that about Garp. He didn't even say that about himself or anything like that. No, he said it about Rox. The thing that they must have, the type of battles they must have had probably just sent roars towards the sea upon the One Piece world. Maybe when they fought each other, they used to just leave islands crumbling apart. When they fought each other, they used to just probably like split the seas. You know, just sword slashes after sword attacks. They probably would just probably like gotcha. And then Rox is like, what do you want, Roger? And then Roger's like, you want to have a battle? Yeah, sure, why not? You want to bust up an island or two? Yeah, why not, man? Come on, meet me in the West Blue in like 50 minutes or something. Who knows, bro? It could have been possibly just like that. You get what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It just like the fact that these two probably just sent roars, like their name just used to just be all over the seas and whatnot. They probably always, another thing too. One thing you got to notice about the God Valley incident is like when Ginny wiretapped that there was like hidden treasure, valuables in this in the God Valley island, like on that island, they both appeared at the same time. What if every time there was something valuable on each and an island, let's say in a way, let me just use a quick example. Let's say the egg on Roger's ship. There was this valuable egg that's on the island of knives or something like that. Who knows? I don't know. I don't care. Right? And then they both heard about it and they both went. What if every single time there was something valuable on the island, they always met up with each other? One island, Rox would win. The next island, Roger would win. And it would keep going vice versa. Probably this island, they would be tied with each other or something like that. Maybe that's how their rivalry and how all their fights always start. Because there was always something valuable on an island that caused these type of things to happen. Like their fights to happen. You know, that sounds actually kind of fire when you think about it. Every time there's something valuable, you always hear that Roger and Rox were going to be at that island. And everyone's like, they're going to fight again. Honey, pack your bags. We got to live somewhere else now. You know, they're known for like trampling islands every time they got next to each other. You know what I mean? That sounds so fire, honestly speaking. You get what I'm saying? Where like Roger would do a Kamusari and then like every time they fought each other, every time they loaded their swords with advanced conquerors hockey, they clashed with each other and boom. Like everything around that vicinity just blows away. All the rocks. Earthquakes happen, stuff like that, sky splits, and then you see lightning. They change the weather with their conquerors hockey every time they got with each other. You know, who knows, bro? That's not like that sounds fire, and that's like probably the way they honestly interacted with each other. You get what I'm saying? And here's another thing: God Valley, Rox versus Roger. I feel like that was their final fight too. Well, it was their final fight, considering the fact that that was Rox's downfall. God Valley was Rox's downfall. So if God Valley was Rox's downfall, obviously that was their final bout, right? And Stussy and Gloricia even said it. So this is it, right? This will settle everything. This is the final war and everything else, etc. Whatever the case may be. Big Mom even said it. Like when Rox fell down and all that stuff back in chapter 999. I feel like they went all out. Everybody went all out. I don't think it was Rox versus Roger versus Garp. I don't think it was on some Roxanne Garp versus. I don't believe it was Garp and Roger versus Rox. I don't think so. I have this doubt in my mind that happened. It could have possibly been a triple threat though. I could see that whilst Rox and Roger were fighting, Garp then jumps in like, you two, you're coming with me. I'm gonna defeat both of you. And then Roger could be like, wait, Garp, not now. What me and him has to settle this. And Garp probably like, I don't care. He jumps in anyway. And then Rox fights him, and then it's a whole triple threat match. I don't think it was Garp and Roger versus Rox. I think that like upscales Rox way too high. That then Rox got to be some kind of monster in a way. I doubt that happened. But I could honestly see it too as a case where it's like maybe Garp and Roger probably is like, you know what? All right, let's put this aside. Just for now. If we really want to put them king of the world. But then again, I think it's just propaganda, man. I don't think. I don't really think so. Yeah, I don't want to. I feel as if the reason why it was just more so like Garp and Rox versus Roger, I think it's because when Garp arrived, there was more people to fight now. You know what I mean? Because who's gonna handle Whitebeard, Shiki, Big Mom, Kaido, Captain John, Don Marlin? Who's gonna handle Gansui? Who's gonna handle Wang Ji? Who's gonna handle them? Rayleigh, I mean, yeah, Rayleigh got Scopper Gabon is there, but it's like, you know, who's gonna handle him? Spencer's not gonna do nothing, man. And then we had Bogart there too. I think Bogart's personally overrated, but hey, man, out of all pure honesty, if Bogart is as strong as people think he is, I mean, if he's Garp's right hand, he has to be strong, honestly, because Garp was there. I don't know why Sengoku wasn't there, but never mind that. You know what I mean? I feel as if it was Rox and Roger. I feel like there was this final bout. Maybe Garp could have interfered to the point where Roger probably did this crazy blow where it literally ended. And also, too, who knows? Edward Newgate, your boy Oyaji, your boy Shirohige, your boy Whitebeard could have possibly betrayed Rox. Landing on the island, the first thing he said was, hey, Rox, you fool. Who said I was following you? Who said I was following your orders? You know? I feel like Whitebeard really betrayed Rox. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. But other than that, yeah, Rox and Roger, man. I feel like they were like one of the craziest rivals. Like I said, everything about them, like they probably used to just like destroy islands, like left the island into a whole wasteland desert, you know. But that's honestly it for me. What do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy this video? Please like, comment, subscribe. So yeah, man, that's it for me. So see you guys next time. I told you I was gonna be consistent this year when it comes to YouTube, and trust me, I am. I'm noticing that I'm getting my little 400 to 300 views. Hey man, little to most people, but to me, out of all pure honesty, I take that back. That is a lot, and I really appreciate you guys. Take care. Used to say out.